So welcome everyone. Welcome to the Blogger Bootcamp live from the Netherlands. It's really hot right here. Right now it's 37 degrees out there. It's horrible. Everyone should be reading outside or something, but we're here. You the upcoming hour about blogging, book blogging. I've been a book blogger for almost 10 years. Next April, I will be. My blog will be there for 10 years. It's wow. It all went so fast. I will tell you I will tell you something about myself, about my blog, and I'll give you lots of tips and tricks. Make your own blog, make your own blog successful. How to write reviews, how to stand out, how to deal with authors and publishers, how to get books, monetizing your blog, and maybe I'll tell you something about my own book. We'll see how much time I have left. If you have any questions, just ask them. I will get them through my earphones. I'll try to answer them. First, about me. My name is Emmy, and besides blogging, I'm a school librarian on high school. I'm a freelance illustrator. I make candles, a writer, a fighter. I do sword fighting for a hobby, but not in this weather. I play D&D, and of course, I love to read. I've read 250 books last year. It's insane. But I use that not only for my blog, but also for the children at school. First, I want to show you. I'm an illustrator, and I'm almost dropping everything on this desk. And because of my blog, I got some opportunities as an illustrator. During art school, they told me you have to network, and I was like, network, and I still think network, but it is important also as well as a blogger as well, and it gave me some opportunities to illustrate some young adult books. First, I illustrate Lobsters, the Dutch edition. You cannot see it on camera very well, but it's really bright, neon-like orange, and I had the opportunity to illustrate the cover and met the authors at Yalk a few years ago, and they were really excited as well. A few years later, another publisher sent me an email with a question if I wanted to illustrate Piper Parish, and not only the cover but also the illustrations inside, which is kind of unique because the American version was already illustrated. So they apparently wanted something else, and I'm still searching for an illustration. Yeah. So this was very exciting because there are not many young adult books in the Netherlands, and most of the time they use the American or the English covers. So the fact that I already illustrated two of them was very exciting for me. And of course, I already told you, I'm a writer myself. So last June, my own young adult book came out, Super Nerd. I illustrated it myself as well. It's about a nerdy girl who believes they're superheroes, and when her hometown, which is also my hometown, is attacked by demons, she gets the opportunity to become a superhero. And after that, she realizes superheroes have a lot. What being a superhero is quite difficult, and she doesn't know if she wants to be a superhero anymore, but she has to. And it's very nerdy and geeky. And if you can read Dutch, please read it. And if you can't, I hopefully there will be a translation sometime. Let's dream. Let's dream. About my blog, 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, I went to art school, and they wanted everyone to have a blog to as a sort of portfolio to show everyone what you were doing, because to show their progress. Well, 3 weeks later, no one had a blog anymore because art students are most of the time working with art and not with blogs. But for me, it was a great way to show the progress, and I wanted to write about my life and things I thought were important. I wrote about drawing and what inspired me and spirituality. And sometimes I wrote about books, but I didn't know there were book blogs out there. So when I found one, few of them, I was like, whoa, what is this kind of world? So I then started to shift the book blog, and my blog is called Son en Maan, which is sun and moon in English. And that's not a typical book blogger's name, but people already knew me as Son en Maan, so I didn't want to change it. And I'm glad I didn't, because it made me a bit stand out. Everyone knows me, oh, that's from Son en Maan, so that's great. Yeah, it started as a school assignment, and it didn't take long to become a book blog, and I've been doing that ever since, almost every day, but not. Yeah, the last year I didn't, because little girl. Most of my posts are reviews, because I read a lot. I can post a lot, but it's equally important to talk about other stuff, like columns, think about stuff, new books, what you got, what you read, and yeah, for a few years I wrote a diary, but I don't do that anymore because I don't have any time left. I might do that later when I got a little bit of a rhythm again, but yeah, I'm quite nervous, but it'll be fine. I'll just keep talking. During that 9 years for now, I think, 9 years, I learned a lot. I learned how to host to build a blog. I learned how to write a good blog post. That's good. And I also grew in my reviews, and that was difficult, I think. When I started blogging, everyone in school, I don't know if it's in England as well, but everyone learns how to write a review that's perfect for a newspaper or a magazine. But a blog post is totally different. So when I started writing reviews, I wanted to be like everyone was sitting next to me on the couch, and I would tell them about the book, why I liked it, why I didn't like it, why I thought it was good or bad, what it reminded me of, what did it look like, were there other books that are like it, and I think that made me a bit more successful than the others, because A, I read a lot, I read a lot, and B, people, even if they have a different taste, they wanted to know what I thought about the book. So I was very lucky in that. Now, there aren't really much Dutch bloggers anymore. That's been different, because a few years ago there were a lot of Dutch book bloggers, and it's difficult to stand out. So people ask me why I didn't blog in English. Now, A, my English is not that good, and B, why would I stand out in English? It's not my mother tongue, so I cannot express myself perfectly. And in Dutch I can do that much better. Yeah. So I have no doubts that a Dutch book blog would be better for me, but I can imagine that stuff different for others. It makes your blog smaller, but because I think there are a lot more people that can read English. So I'm hot. I'm sorry. It's easier to get a lot of followers if you're writing in English, because there are a lot of more English speakers, of course. But I read a lot of Dutch books as well, and you don't care about books that are only published in Dutch. So that was the reason for me to stay Dutch, write in Dutch, be Dutch as I am. I think there is a difference between the Netherlands and how they interact with bloggers and outside of the Netherlands. So I don't know how it works in England or something. I can only tell you how it works in the Netherlands. ARCs, for examples, we don't really have them. Publishers don't have the money to print thousands of books, because books tend to be sold just a few thousand times. I do get review copies, but that they most of the time they're finished products or the ebooks. So most of the time we are quite late with reviews because we get the book a few days after release day, and sometimes we get them just before. But there's no way I can finish a book in one day anymore. I used to do that all the time, but I can't. Lucky it's 100 or 200 pages a day nowadays. But that's fine. I can still write enough reviews to fill my blog. I'm already mixing everything because I wrote everything down. Let's talk about how to start a blog, because some of you will already have a blog and are only interested in how to make it bigger and get more people reading it. And some of you are doubting to the book blog, and some of you don't even want, but just want to know how it works. There are a lot of options to get a free blog. It doesn't have to cost you any money. You can use Blogger or WordPress.com or even Tumblr for my parts. You can use every place where you can place written reviews. You can use it as your blog. There are even people who use Facebook as a blog, which is kind of weird to me, but if it's your cup of tea, go for it. I started as a free blog as well on Blogspot. That's now Blogger nowadays. I started my blog because it has to be free and it was for school. But I quickly bought a domain name and then I switched to WordPress.org, which gives you the most possibilities. If you have a free blog on WordPress.com, for example, you are very limited in your possibilities. You cannot put any plugins on there. You cannot upload your own themes. So that's quite hard. So if you're certain you want a blog and you're willing to put a few bucks in there, it opens a whole new world for you. I have some interesting plugins for you, and I put them on the worksheet. You can find the worksheet on the Camp YA website. So I think it works. And then I have put some interesting plugins for you. For example, I use the paid plugin Ultimate Book Blogger because it saves me tons of time to make it visible. But there are also free options that are working basically the same, and I've put them in the worksheet as well. I think the most important thing to have, most important thing, for starting a blog is have fun in it. Because if you don't have any fun, it won't last. And a blog is meant to be lasting. The difference between a blog and a website is that the website is not as updated frequently as a blog is. So having fun and being and how to become bigger with more visitors is be authentic. Don't try to be anyone else because it won't happen. You won't last. Yeah, my ears itchy. And don't be afraid to fail. Being authentic means that you have to find your own writing style, your own opinion, how to entertain people, how to be interesting to people. Some pictures you'll make will be ugly, some will be great, and sometimes you think, oh, this picture is perfect, and people think they're horrible. Sometimes you're very proud of a review and nobody will read it, and sometimes you're like, well, quickie, I'll make it and done, and it will be your best review ever. So don't be afraid to fail. It doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes people want it to be perfect, but most of the time that takes the fun away. You don't have to be perfect. Just be yourself. I think layouts are very important as well, and that means not only the theme you're picking, the font you're using, but also the logo or the header. And don't be afraid to invest in that. Yes, you can make your own if you're able, or if you have Photoshop or something. But if you have no clue, just hire someone to do it. I've designed quite a few Dutch book bloggers their header, and it turned out very well. And you don't have to be afraid that designers will make every logo or header the same. I think it's very important to get noticed by, oh, that's that site that with the pile of books on there, or the dragon, or whatever you want to put on your header. It's a way to get noticed and get remembered. Because if people come to your website and they forget it, or they're if they don't write it down, bookmark it, they might remember it by your header and your name. I always about names. I always say don't be like someone else. There are a lot of bookcases or bookmarks or book shelves, kind of book blogs out there. Try to be new. Try to find something new. Like I have Son and Man, which is totally not related to books, but people remember it, and that's my goal, of course, that people remember it. So when I worked in a library instead of high school librarian, other libraries knew me because of my blog name. They were like, "You're from Son and Man." I was, yes, I'm from Son and Man. It's quite great, scary. One day I went home from a holiday. I was looking terrible, a bit like now, sweaty and tired. And someone came up to me and said, "You're from Son and Man, right?" And I was like, "This is awkward. What do I say?" Yes. Yeah, that was mind blowing because it was just in the bus in my hometown. One thing that I think helps to get a lot of visitors is comment on other blogs. And I've not used that to the full potential as well, but I think don't underestimate the fact that people click on names when you put a comment at another blog. And I don't mean, oh, good review, but give your opinion about the book or something, or share your experience. That will guarantee give you some more clicks. Use other social media to get noticed, which is also very difficult because Instagram or Bookstagram replaced a lot of blogs, and some publishers in the Netherlands rather work with Instagrammers than with bloggers. So that's quite hard for me. I have an Instagram as well. I have a Bookstagram as well, but I most of the time use the same pictures for my blog and as on Instagram. So that's something I haven't quite figured out yet, how to deal with that and how the future will be for bloggers, but we'll see. Another way to fill your blog and get a stream of visitors is join book tours or fan things on Tuesday or Thursday, whatever the bloggers use. So make it interesting. Make your blog interesting. Don't fill it up with only reviews, but with columns, wrap-ups, and like I told you about, to be read, new books. In this case, check out other blogs. How do they do that? What are you writing about? And make it your own. Don't copy them. Make them your own. In the Netherlands, when someone writes opinionated posts, other bloggers reply on it with writing their own blog post by linking to them. And if you find it very difficult to blog, in which I mean you're used to writing a blog post and post it online immediately, I would say make a plan. So if you write 5 blog posts in a day, don't put them all online in one go, but maybe put one in next week or tomorrow or the day after that. Just make a plan. Try to stick to it. And that plan should be realistic. So if you are not able to write 7 blog posts a day and you only have one day to write then maybe you should post less in a week, maybe 2 or 3. So for me, it's a part of my work week. So when I'm at school, I'm working, and I don't have anything to do. I'm working at my blog, and maybe you think like, how can you do that? You're not allowed to use the boss's time to write blog posts, but my boss is okay with it because I'm a school librarian, so I'm very lucky. About reviews, I will not tell you how to do it and how you're not supposed to do it, because everyone has their own way. But remember, the reviews you are writing for a blog are never the same as the reviews for a newspaper. That's a totally different. I see someone joining. That's a totally different kind of style, way to write reviews. I use. Oh, people are joining. Great. I use a writing style like I want to be sitting next to you and talk about reviews, talk about the book. I chose my own audience market, and I write for young adult readers. And sometimes they're 40, sometimes they're 15, sometimes they're 80. I don't care, but they have to be young adult book lovers. So I write like that. I am not going to use any technical words or any whatever. Young adult readers don't care about that. They just want to know if it's a good book or not. So I use that to write my reviews. I use my own voice, and I will never tell you something I will never make it more pretty than it is. I won't tell you that book is perfectly and amazing and I don't know what, when I don't really like it. I will tell you why some people will like it, but I'll also tell you why I didn't like it. Be true to your own opinion. Don't forget to give any information about the book, like ISBN, title, author. You need that because otherwise people can't find the book. And if you're willing to do that, use the affiliate. Yeah, put a link on there so people buy the book and you'll get a percentage of it. How to stand out? I already told you something about it. How to stand out? Standing out means to get noticed, and you do that by be authentic, but also show yourself. Show yourself on social media. Go to events, although it's not really possible right now, but it will help you get noticed by readers, but also by publishers and authors. I don't know how it is, but in the Netherlands, publishers do all the marketing. So there are just not a few. Yeah, there are a few young adults authors who use social media to promote their book, but most of the time it's from the publishers. So if you want a book and you want to get noticed by publishers, you have to go there. They won't find you. You have to find them. So if you're ready for it, mail them, send them email, tell them about you, tell them about yourself, tell them about your blog, and have something to show. I know a lot of publishers, and they all told me bloggers out there that they are existing for like 5 minutes, already emailing them. We want to be on the press list. We want to get free books. It doesn't work like that. You have to be out there. You have to have a portfolio of reviews. They want to know why you are interesting for them. Yeah. And I was lucky because publishers know me. So when Lily was born, I also got a lot of baby books for her, which was really cute, and I felt really visible for them. And also because I blog about young adults and books, they know that they don't have to give me a feel good or a thriller because I won't read it. That's easier for them. So if you have a specialty, I already thought how to outside of outside of the Netherlands and a lot of Dutch readers as well use NetGalley, of course. We don't have something like that in the Netherlands. So I can tell you anything about it because I do have an account, but I never use it. I get my Dutch books and I buy all the English ones myself. And I don't even want to use it because I get too many Dutch books already. Never-ending TBR pile. Great. I have no idea where I was, but that's fine. For me, all about good my way. Be myself because that made my blog successful. I don't know how I would do it if I started my blog today, because there are so many out there. I was lucky; I was one of the first in the Netherlands, so that might be a bit different. Don't forget that your reviews are your opinion. I heard in the Netherlands sometimes there's a big drama because an author responds on a review, and I think that will happen to any blogger in what country, whatever. But remember, just like you are reviewing the book and not the author, they are criticizing your blog posts and not you. It's quite hard to deal with critics like that. But remember to write a blog post about the book and not about the author. An author can be a bitch or a jerk, but that doesn't mean that a book are rubbish. And when a book is rubbish, it doesn't mean that the author is a bitch or jerk. Yeah. If it happens, just I had it once. The author was not happy with my review, and that's possible. I was very critical because I thought there were mistakes in the book. And the author decided to start a little witch hunt on Facebook and on Instagram and on Twitter and all social media. And I was like, what is happening? And she also did it behind my back, which was very difficult because I couldn't talk to her from what are you doing. I contacted the publisher. I talked to the publisher and they called me, and I told them I didn't have any problems with the offer. I just didn't like the book. And they used their power to stop the offer. But that's not possible every way. But if it happens to you, be the bigger one. Don't reply, because they are judging your blog post and not you. And if they're judging you, let it go. It won't bring you anywhere. And it doesn't help to shame the offer as well from he or she is bullying me. Don't feed the bullier. Now, monetizing your blog, that's the thing most people are interested in. In the Netherlands, just don't try. It won't help you anywhere. I think that book bloggers are way behind the beauty bloggers and the lifestyle bloggers and whatever that can earn tons of money. In the Netherlands, you're doomed. I did own some money, earn some money, but that was hard work and quite difficult. And that was only because I knew some people inside the publisher world. If you're trying to get money, use it or you should think about how you can offer your service. Because be a better reader, host a blog tour, things like that. It's really difficult here. It's almost not existing. They just go to another book blogger who will do it for free, and I think that's quite a problem or something, because we work just as hard as the fashion bloggers or something. But hey, too bad. I do make some money with reading manuscripts for a publisher, and they contacted me because of my blog. So in different ways. I do earn some money with my blogs, but not by writing reviews. Helaas. Too bad. I don't have any much more to tell, so maybe there are a few questions. Then I'm gonna take a drink. Are there any questions? Loading.
There definitely are some questions.
Oh, that's great. I was a bit worried
So
that no one would watch.
No, you have watchers, definitely. Okay, so thank you very much for giving us an insight in how it is in the Netherlands. It is obviously slightly different everywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
But it's good to have this insight because it shows the differences, really. Because like NetGalley is obviously really a thing in the UK and in the US. To get books that way, there's too many books already on my one, so yeah, I get your reasoning of not wanting to go in there.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that Seba has asked is it worth to try monetizing via Amazon or other affiliate links?
Yes. We use bol.com, which is one of the big sellers in the Netherlands. But Amazon and Book Depository also have such a program. If you're lucky, you can earn quite a few bucks there. I earn like 25 euros a month, roughly. But I know some other blogs that mainly children book blogs, because of the parents do have money, they who earn 200 euros a month. So I'm quite jealous of them. So yeah, you should give it a try.
Definitely also the difference between obviously our small Dutch country and then English worlds. There's just a bigger market out there for it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying like that the Ultimate Book Blogger is amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
Plugins.
I love it. Yes, it was totally worth the investment. Because I don't have time to update my my list every day. I won't. It's too much work, and now it's going automatically. So love it.
Maybe you should become an affiliate of that app. Are there any other plugins that you really recommend?
Well, that was my first. I can have a look what kind of plugins I use. I tend to forget them. Well, it is my favorite Ultimate Book Bloggers.
Because that one is all the information that you need for books, right?
Yeah, it makes not only that, it makes it pretty and it's easy. It can also automatically fill in all the book info by filling in the Goodreads something. I do it by hand. I'm still putting so much time in it, but it also makes the lists from books by author, books by rate, books by title, whatever, books by series, and you can make the pretty lists without doing anything. So it saves tons of time every day.
Does it also allow you to show your score?
Yeah. No, I don't have any other special. Yeah, and translating plugin so people can read my blog when they're English.
Okay, so you write only in English and you have a translation so that everyone across the world can see it.
Yeah, my blog is in Dutch, but it's basically some sort of Google Translate, but you can sort of read my blog in English as well. and that's a plugin for
Fair
it.
enough.
You also have plugins to you can put the English text as well, but then you have to translate them yourself, and then just one switch, people can switch to English to Dutch. But I'm way too lazy to write blog posts in both English and Dutch. I'm not going to try that. I don't have any time to do that.
And what's that one called?
I have the where was it? G Translate.
Right. Okay.
But it's a plugin that gives you makes your blog available through Google Translate. So it's a Google Translate.
Fair enough. And like you touched a bit upon monetization and the fact that it's really hard in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Do you think that is because not a lot of people do it yet? Do you think that there is a future to go there?
Well, the problem here is that they don't have any budget, and the young adult market in the Netherlands is kind of troublesome right now. So they are a bit scared to put money in it because they rely on newspapers and magazines, I think, too much. Because they think they will reach more people by it. But I already told them like 1,000 times they won't. But they're quite scared to put all their money in one person, not knowing for sure it will reach the people they need. So yeah.
Right, so that makes sense.
I did some paid things. I did something for the Grace Year in the Netherlands and for a ballad, the new Hunger Games. And I had to make
So what
a
are the
plan.
things that you?
I had to make a plan, but with what I wanted to do, and they had to agree for it. So I made for the new Hunger Games. I put an advertising on my blog to a web shop, so they could buy it there. And I wrote the review and 1 or 2 extra blog posts and more social media posts than normal.
Right.
Yeah.
So saying that money for a publisher itself isn't a problem, because obviously across the world you have bigger publishers that do have the money.
Yeah.
Do you think that, far from the fact that it's hard to get into or the fact that it's not done right now, in your personal opinion, do you think that book bloggers should be paid for certain things or for everything?
Yeah, for certain things, not for reviews or something, because you decide to read a book or not. And I think that if your review is paid, it also always is a bit colored. You want to please someone, so no reviews. But if you're willing to promote a book more than normal, why shouldn't a book blogger be paid? So yeah, in certain ways, because it must have quality and it must reach a certain amount of people. So if you have a really small blog, it won't get anywhere. So I don't think they will go for that. But if you have quite a few visitors, why not? Yeah, it's too bad we don't have any money. So it's really it's a tough market right now in the Netherlands. So if you're lucky enough to have a big publisher who has a big budget, go for it. Go for it. I think book bloggers should have earned lots more money than they're now. Especially if you see how much other kind of blogs earn. Cool. We cannot live from it. I cannot pay rent by free books. Go to a lifestyle blogger, they earn heaps of money. It's crazy.
Where do you think the difference lies? Is that just with the fact that they have brands behind them and we have publishers?
Maybe, yeah, because brands tend to have more money available. And maybe because sometimes the publishers are still stuck in old ways. they started to work with bloggers years after book bloggers went big. They were like, whoa, bloggers, they're book bloggers, whoa. And I was already existing for like 2 or 3 years. It's crazy.
Right. And you also said that they turn to Instagram a lot more now,
Yeah,
which obviously is a huge way to monetize.
Yeah. Partly, I think it's logical they do it, but also not logical, because the people who are getting the books now and the special things, most of them have international followers, so it will not bring the Dutch publishers anywhere. And they tend to forget that, I think. So a high number on Instagram is great, but it's not a real. It will not show the publishers their real market, their real audience. So it's quite difficult.
Yeah, okay,
I use
for the
Instagram a lot.
Netherlands, that makes sense.
I use Instagram a lot, but yeah, I most have Dutch followers because I Instagram in Dutch as well, which was my as well. I was do I go to English or stay in Dutch? Do I want more followers, or do I want more interaction?
Mm-hmm.
So I chose.
Yeah, no, because like I work for an international publisher, obviously, and we do have limitations because so if people have 10,000 followers or more, they are basically they ask for money, we get it.
Yeah.
And but we're also, it depends on the kind of product that they're reviewing, the kind of things that they're doing. Because we have certain build-ups, and where we get a review or like a series, where literally every week you get a video. And for those things, it really depends on who you are, what you're doing, and how much traction you get from things. But I definitely think that there's a way of doing that, especially for Instagram, but also for YouTube.
Yeah. They tried YouTube a few years ago, but I'm not hearing anything anymore. For me, it's quite hard to understand what publishers want at the moment. I think they don't know themselves. Everyone is a bit searching. What is the next step in getting the books out there? So that's quite.
And is that just because of Corona, or is that
no? That was already before that. A few years ago, people said blogging is dead, but book blogs are still quite popular and steady. People get a lot of information there, especially people in education or parents. They use blogs a lot. But the children, the young adults, are at Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok, and so publishers are searching for what's the next popular thing that we can use. And I think they don't know what. They try because one of them just got a TikTok. And wondering what will happen next.
Do you think TikTok is the next way to go about it?
I have no idea. Instagram just introduced a TikTok-like thing, so I don't have TikTok because then I don't do anything anymore. I lost quite a few hours a day because of Animal Crossing this holiday. So no, I'm just not starting with TikTok. But I think well, visual storytelling is always a big thing, and it will continue to be a big thing. But that doesn't mean that book bloggers will disappear. Quite a few disappeared in the Netherlands. People stopped, or blogs died a silent death. But there are a few who will stay and are steady and are a huge inspiration for a lot of readers every day. And that's a great thing. I won't stop.
Yeah, so you're basically saying at the moment, like, there was a bit of a lull with blogs, but be unique, be yourself, and then you'll basically rise above the noise. And now is actually a good time to get into it because of the lull.
Yeah.
Let me just see. Okay, let me just see if there is any more questions at the moment.
It feels so strange to have a workshop without any introduction.
Yeah, you're usually used to having someone there in the room, isn't it?
Yeah, always. Even online, and I saw the questions coming in.
Yeah, I'm just looking at them right now. Thanks, Danny. So Danny's just asked, what do you do for themes and for social posting?
I'm a bit lazy. I use Instagram most of the times, and I love Instagram stories. And I spend way too much hours a day at the Instagram stories, not making them, but watching them from others. But this is quite an easy way to get some interaction with people. So I play stories as well, what I'm reading, what I'm doing, when I'm cleaning up my school library. It's a way to get personal with your first. And I noticed during the last 9 years that people like to get to know the person behind the blog. So social media is a perfect way to do that. So I use Instagram most of the time for that, and basically Instagram stories.
Yeah, because like I've noticed as well that if you show who you are, again, show yourself. From a personal perspective as well as your professional blog, people are more sympathetic to you and happily follow you as well.
Yeah. And that's a big difference between the newspapers and the magazines. People follow you because of you, not because of your review. So if you're you during your review, people tend to read it more.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a balance between there, because obviously if you have great content, people will follow you. And if you are the one voice coming through with new things, then 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, how do you go about scheduling things? Do you just do it on WordPress, or?
I do have such a planner plugin thing on WordPress, but I rarely use it. I have a Google Docs document where I have a simple table with a date and review. And when I finish a book, I write a few keywords or a few small sentences about my opinion, and I use that to write my review, because I cannot write a review every day or when I just finish the book. I don't have time for that, or I'm too tired to do that. I have a small baby, but I use that kind of planner for like a few years now, and it works for me because I can shift. I can see when I have to write a review, what I'm writing about, when I can take it easy because there are enough books in. So it helps me to get to know what I wrote and know what I want to write, and I need those little writings to write review, because sometimes it takes 3 weeks until I have time to write it. I'm like 4 books ahead, so so I have no idea what I wrote, what I thought about the book. I have to write it down.
Right. So you write little notes for yourself, and then when you have the moment, you write the reviews. Do you say, okay, for instance, Sunday is my writing day, and then you write all of the reviews for the rest of the week? Or
No. I used to write a few blog posts a day, but I can't do that anymore. So it's one a day, sometimes two when I'm feeling inspirational. Most of the time during the school weeks, I'm doing it at school, so I don't have to do anything at home. And nowadays, I do it when Lily is asleep. So in the afternoon, in the early morning, or when she's taking a nap in the evening.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it really depends on what your situation is and how your life is.
Yeah.
Because obviously most people can't do it during their work.
Yeah, I'm very lucky to do that. When I was not able to do it, I did it on my day off, and that was a work day, freelance work day.
Yeah, no, because when I was doing a lot of writing for my blog, I basically said Sunday is my writing day, and I made blog posts for the rest. So it depends on who you are as a person, whether you like writing one a day or whether you like doing writing one day and doing all of it together and then schedule it for the rest of the week.
And some people just want to write a review right after they finish the book, even if it's 2 a.m. in the morning. So do what you want, do what works for you. There's no good or bad.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that's a lot of things with having a blog. Do what feels good to you.
Yeah.
And not necessarily what everyone says that you should do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be
do
fun.
What you love.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. And if you don't love it anymore, your blog will soon be nothing. Take a break when you need it. Don't force it.
Definitely. How do you decide what you review?
I almost review everything. But a few months ago, I read some books and I was like, I don't know what to say in a full review, so I started to do some mini review series. So once a month, I have 3 books that I've read, but not. I don't want to write a whole review about. Sometimes it's because it's part 7 of a series, and sometimes it's because I didn't really like the book and I don't have the any. I don't want to write a whole review about it, but sometimes I think I feel the need to write a review. I feel it's almost it's a must, and I have to let go. I have to let go of that. So that's why I wrote mini reviews, so I can just make a few sentences and then done.
Right. Okay. Do you say write for your audience or write for yourself for the review?
Both. I started out as write for yourself, but you have to reach an audience if you want to grow. So I think a mix. Don't write for your audience, but be yourself and write what you want. I think it's important to write what I would have wanted to read when I want to read a review. So what do I want to know? I want to know if it fits my taste in books. So it's
do you have a particular set way of writing your reviews? So talk about the cover, talk about like the themes, talk about the author you think the author was trying to communicate.
Not really. I sometimes I do that, but then I have to feel the need to do it. It's not like I follow a strict list of things I want to discuss in a review, because sometimes, for example, world building. In some books, it's very important to me that it's done well, and sometimes I don't really care, so I don't have to notice it in my review. If I really love the cover, of course, I want to tell you the cover is really pretty.
Yeah.
But I don't feel the need to tell it every time.
Yeah, and I guess this is one of those things again where it depends on who you are.
Yeah.
If you work well with like a set schedule of everything.
Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. Some people really like that, and it makes it easier, and also easier for the reader sometimes because they know where to look in your review, what they want to know. But it doesn't really work for me, so that's fine. And maybe I will use it someday because I'm stuck or something. Fine, it's great. It's
Yeah,
not
I think
it's not bad to change your way of reviewing. You'll grow as a writer as well.
Yeah, I think for me, when I first started book blogging, it was good to have a set schedule for me because it helped me to write these things and feel confident that I could do it. And then when I grew, I decided I'm just going to write what I need to hear in this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it goes out automatically with me, so I don't really need that list anymore, because I always start with how I game, what I thought before I read the book, and I followed with quite a story, and to that I'll tell you about the person, the characters. It goes naturally, but maybe it's almost like a set list, but I don't think of it anymore.
And how do you handle when you get asked to write a review? Do you just say yes to everything, or do you?
No, not anymore. I used to do that because I was really honored and quite happy that I could get another free book. But I don't have the time in reading, and I want to give my time to the books I really love, or I think I will love. So I'm more critical in rating as in getting the books, but I do get those emails quite sometimes, and not only from publishers, also from authors as well. But no, I want to read quality, and not everything is quality.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to sometimes read the books that you not necessarily think is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I do that sometimes too. For example, like from PR person about the book, and it was totally not my audience. It didn't spoke to me as well. So I said, yeah, sorry, that's not my type of book. No, I'm not gonna do it. And she replied with, maybe you'll like this book then, which was basically the same book but different. And I was like, no, I don't want that. I'm not gonna read that because my followers will not read it as well. It's not their cup of tea. It's not young. It was not young adult at all, or fantasy. It was basically a thriller or something. That was no. I said no.
Fair enough. I mean, that's good because you can't do everything under the sun.
Yeah, I tried to, but I failed.
So we're almost at the end. Do you have to summarize what are your main points for someone to start a blog and to keep and maintain it?
Great. I will reply I will tell everything again. No, be yourself. That's the main part. Have fun in it, and don't be afraid to fail. To fail, you'll grow. Go out there. Go meet others. If it's in real life when we're allowed to again, but also reply to other blog posts. Make friends. Basically, all my friends I've met online with books. Yeah, Melissa. So
yeah, no, definitely. Like, immerse yourself into the community.
Yeah.
And do what you love. I think is most
do
important.
what you love and love what you do.
Exactly. Well, then I'd like to thank you for
You're welcome.
this workshop and interview. And I hope you all have enjoyed this.
Yeah. I'm sorry for my steenkool Engels.
I think you did really well. If they have any questions, can they message you on Instagram or?
Yes, of course. Yeah. You'll find me at Sonneman.
Emmy at Sonnenman. Emmy is also actually part of our Market Square at the moment with Letters and Lights.
Yeah.
So do check that out. She's got amazing bookish merch and candles. There you go.
Don't be afraid of sparkles.
If you want to start your own blog, definitely do. Check it out. Check out the Ultimate Book Blogger plugin for WordPress.
Yeah, and don't forget, you do have your own. You need your own hosted website to use plugins. So before you start at your WordPress.com website, you cannot use plugins. So you do need your own hosted website to use plugins like the Ultimate Book Blogger.
There you go. And the last tip for the day, for this interview, we'll see you guys a little later in our podcast. And we're going to show some small videos in between still. So stay with us, and we'll see you later.